show on the radio. Hey, hello, here we go. I don't know a better show, Space Croutons 4.0. We race through space and time, transportals and worlds that rhyme. Our stories just hit the spot. Don't tune in late, you'll miss the plot. Well, hello, here we go. Have you heard about a good time show on the radio? So to and fro, here we go. I don't know a better show, Space Croutons 4.0. Join us on our starship cruise while we endeavor to amuse. In each and every episode, we stream across the great cosmos. Well, hello, here we go. Have you heard about a good time show on the radio? Look out below, here we go. I don't know what better show, Space Croutons 4.0.
Hello, Space Croutonians everywhere. It's me, Curdy.
Along with me, Sally.
Bringing you another episode of Space Croutons. From the comfort of our mobile studio, Van Helsing, we are hitting the airwaves on a boogie-woogie board with a strange and unexpected story for your entertainment and edification.
And if anyone out there has something to share to help us understand our current dilemma, we are all ears. Figuratively, of course, as I have no ears. Just want to get that out there. Don't want to confuse anyone.
Remind me, Sally, to take a look at your clarity programming. I think it might need an adjustment.
I will make a note, Curdy, and as instructed, set a reminder for later today. A reminder to check the programming that is, the clarity programming that is, as stated in the reminder that is.
We got it, Sally. How about we get to today's commercial? What's the next letter from our favorite geeky sponsor? If the geek alphabet be the food of love, play on, Sally.
Today's episode of Space Croutons is brought to you by the geek letter Huda. Huda is defined as reacting with an attitude to pretty much anything. Suppose you're starving and someone asks you to let them have your delicious hamburger and fries. A likely response with attitude would be, "Who do you think you are, the lunch police? Go get your own before I have a beef with you." Huda, a part of the geek experience ever since the beginning of rudeness. Huda, use it proudly and often. The geek alphabet. It's all geek to me.
And that was the commercial, Curdy, the one for today, not to be confused with the one from our last episode, or the one for our next episode, or any of the ads from previous Season 4 episodes, or Season 3.14, or Season 2, or even our first season. I hope I am making myself clear.
I would say more than clear, Sally. But now let me be clear, as I suggest we present today's story. A little tale submitted for your approval, folks, called Runner's High.
Shall I preface the story with a bit of context, Curdy?
Nope, Sally. I really don't think that will be necessary. Let's just listen.
Hello, Space Croutonians. At least I think that's what you're called. Forgive my hesitation, but I only just learned about the show from a friend of mine, after telling him about a recent experience I had when running. Oh yeah, that's right. I am a runner, long distance, for the fun of it. I don't race. Tried it once, but the pressure I felt took the fun out of it for me. I do charity runs, but otherwise it's just me, by myself, putting one foot in front of the other, until my body tells me I'm done. That's the kind of road rascal I am. Wait, I forgot to tell you who I am. My real name is Barton, but because running is my thing, my friends call me Battry, because I am always going and going and going. Hey, at least they don't call me the Energizer Bunny. Okay, so now let me tell you what's been happening on my runs the last few days. The first morning, I headed out about 7 a.m. It was my day off and I usually sleep in, but I woke up early and thought, hey, spring is sprung. Let's get some miles in. As I stepped out of the house, I felt the dampness of the dew, which I knew would burn off quickly, since the forecast for Minneapolis was a high of 73, dry and sunny. I've been tromping these streets for a decade now, and probably could run them blindfolded, except for the traffic, of course. I was dressed in my usual shorts, a Minnesota United Loons football club tee, and my Asics, and decided to run through the neighborhood to the east, circling north and back around to return from the west on a very comfortable 10-mile track. After stretching and breathing for a few minutes, I was ready. The pit-pat of my shoes on the sidewalk fell into my natural stride, and I began to feel my lungs kicking into gear. I don't use a music player when running. I want to be able to be aware of traffic. But the rhythm of my feet suggests a tempo, bringing one song after another into my head, and my movements change into a very subtle dance over uneven pavement, tree roots, and curbs as I dodge around kids' bikes and scooters left scattered on the sidewalk, then venture onto an empty street to open up my pace for a minute or two. 20 minutes in, and I'm easing on down the road, one of the songs from The Wiz that fits my run perfectly. I'm coming to a traffic circle, newly constructed and a fresh kind of challenge for me, designed to streamline traffic flow. I find anticipating a crossing trickier than with most intersections. Cars slow, but do not always stop when entering the circle, even if there are marked crosswalks. So I find myself needing to pay more attention for safety's sake. This time, there are no cars anywhere nearby, and the quiet signaled that I could round the circle myself, adding a few extra steps to the route, and imagining myself rounding the turn of an Olympic track in the final of the 10,000 meters. I know I said I don't like races, but I mean, who doesn't dream sometimes of what it would be like to be an Olympic athlete? And between the pretending, the music in my head, and the length of time I've been running, I began to feel a familiar runner's high. I don't know if you've ever experienced it or even believe it's real, but I run enough to know when it happens to me. The endorphins, the ease in my body, the perfect breathing, all of it is there. However, this time, I was dancing my runner's high dance around the curve. I glanced to the inside of the circle and saw a man in a medieval-looking tunic standing at the center in front of a painter's easel, with a woman in a familiar period outfit who seemed to be posing for him, with her arms folded across her chest. And if that wasn't strange enough, as I focused on his act of painting, I noticed that he was moving his arms in reverse of what you would expect to see. Then as my eyes were drawn to the canvas itself, I could see what appeared to be this man, the painter, unpainting the portrait. And the strangest of all was that the model, the painting, the artist himself were all familiar to me from my art appreciation classes back in college. I was watching Leonardo da Vinci unpaint his portrait of Mona Lisa. Breaking my trance, I tripped against the curb and found myself face down in the flower bed, just sprouting from what were to be tulips and daylilies. And when I lifted my head and coughed out the fresh mouthful of mulch, the whole scene at the center of the circle was gone. My legs were sticking out into the pavement, and a sharp car horn alerted me to pull myself out of harm's way as the lone Prius continued around the circle. I made my way back home, shaken but not stirred, 007 pun intended, and chalked up the event as a trick of the sunlight. The whole thing seemed like a dream, and the later in the day it got, the more I was convinced. But it came rushing back to me that evening when I was channel surfing past CNN and was stopped by yet another blonde teleprompter reader exclaiming the breaking news story of the day. The Louvre had been robbed. The Mona Lisa was gone. Look, I believe in coincidences sometimes. Like when I wanted a snack at work and the vending machine guy had just filled it with my fave flavor of Pop-Tart, strawberry. But the most famous painting in the world stolen from the Louvre, and on the same day that I saw what I saw? Come on! That night, I slept fitfully, and with work starting at 8, I left my bed at 6 to run and hopefully shake off the weirdness coating my every thought. Should I take the same route as the day before? No. Why tempt fate? This time, I headed south and east, planning to turn north, then west to get back home in time for a shower, then sign on for my home office for my customer service shift for a local energy provider. I would go nowhere near that traffic circle, not today. And as I ran, my breathing became regular. I relaxed a bit. I was running again just like usual. No visions, no surprises, just more footsteps. Now this route takes me along a street that goes under a train bridge, usually decorated with local graffiti. Sometimes, when it would come into view, I would imagine the finish line for the world's most prestigious ultramarathon, the Self-Transcendence, stretching 3,100 miles. Now, I never planned to run the real one, but still, it's fun to wonder what finishing something like that would be like. So as I approach the bridge, I'm thinking about how rubbery my legs would feel and just how drained my energy would be. But basking in the glow of the completion, like climbing Mount Everest or swimming the length of the Amazon. And as I passed under it, again, I sensed another runner's high coming on. And as it swept over me, I had another vision. Standing directly in front of me, in the center of the street, about 10 yards beyond the bridge, was a man in an ancient-looking Italian costume, looking straight at me with what I guess was a telescope. Then as I stopped in the street, the telescope simply disintegrated in his hands. And as he stared at his empty palms, he also seemed to disintegrate into thin air. I stumbled to the side of the street and sat for a full 5 minutes, telling myself to breathe and trying to make sense of what I just saw. Then I pulled my phone from the Warren twins fanny pack. I opened the internet and Googled telescopes, old. Nothing unusual came up in the results, and I exhaled heavily. Then, just to see, I hit reload. Again, nothing. One more time, I thought, and then I could go home, get ready for work. I hit the icon, and this time, the following news headline stared at me from the screen. Newsflash. Telescopes reported stolen from Museo Galileo. So I called in sick and spent the day in front of my computer, scanning the internet for any info I could find regarding Da Vinci's Mona Lisa and Galileo's telescope. Well, I don't think I need to explain why I did not run yesterday. I went through the motions of working, helping customers with move-ins and outs, high bill questions, but honestly, my brain was on autopilot. I kept tabs on the web, but nothing strange came across my monitor. So I let the memories fade regarding my new, bizarre, kind of runner's high. And when I finally fell asleep last night, my dreams were regular ones that I never remember. When the alarm went off this morning, I stretched awake and everything felt normal again. Nothing happened yesterday, I told myself. You just need to take it slower. Stay in control of your body and your mind. To prove to myself I was indeed in charge, I chose new shorts and a lynx tee to wear. Items I'd been saving for just the perfect first morning, and whispered, I run my runs, I run my life, and took off headed west. It looked rainy in the distance, but based on the clouds, I figured I could run my 6-mile course, no traffic circles or bridges, and get back before the shower started. Everything was ordinary for the first few miles. Distant thunder punctuated the air as I reached the westmost point of the course, and as I rounded a street corner where a warehouse towered up to hide the rising sun, I looked to my right to see a loading bay, door open and cool darkness spilling out. I had been scanning my body for the runner's high for the last few blocks, and so far so good. But as I looked into the bay, the runner's high sensation wafted over me, and I instantly saw the figure of a man sitting in what I can only describe as an old-timey metal sleigh, decked out in ivory and crystals, with a large control stick protruding from the floor of the vehicle. On the stick were a couple of levers, and as the man saw me watching him, he grabbed at the levers and screamed. And of course, things got weirder from there. As I stood watching, the man and the vehicle did not disintegrate and disappear like the visions from our previous runs. This time, the man, the vehicle with the levers, and the darkness surrounding him seemed to fold in half vertically, then horizontally, then vertically again, then horizontally again. This action repeated as the image I was looking at folded smaller and smaller until it folded out of sight. When I got home this morning, I called in sick. Do you blame me? Going a bit cuckoo is a good enough reason for a mental health day. Then I called my friend Worley, the one that I told you about. He reads a lot of science fiction, and after listening to my ranting, he yelled, "Hold on!" and set down his phone. When he came back a few minutes later, he asked if the vehicle in today's vision looked like
a sizable device made up of ivory, metal, and a transparent crystalline substance.
Yeah, sorta, I guess. Why?
Dude, I just read that from H.G. Wells' book, The Time Machine. Listen, it has 2 white levers, which, when pushed, activates the machine and enables one to go either backwards or forward in time. Dude, you just saw a time machine.
Worley listens to your show and said I needed to contact you. Time machines? Sure, I know time travel is possible now, but H.G. Wells' Time Machine? That was fiction, right? And add to that missing famous paintings and old telescopes, and I'm about to go around the bend. So I come to you, Space Croutons. I have no idea what it all means. I don't know what else to do, so I sat down and recorded every word of what I've gone through the last few days. If you can make sense out of all this, please get back to me and help me get my mind around it all. Until you do, there'll be no more running for me. Maybe I'll take up pickleball or yoga. Hoping you can help. Battry higher. Former distance runner, for now anyway.
Well, there you have it, audience. The perfect excuse for me to avoid exercise altogether. Have you ever heard anything like that, Sally?
No.
Okay. Any additional thoughts you'd like to share?
No.
Sally, what's that noise?
That is a notification, Curdy.
And what is it notifying us about?
We have a caller, Curdy.
Then maybe we should, I don't know, answer it?
Yes. Hello, caller. You are on the air with Space Croutons.
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Who is calling, please?
You may not believe this, but this is Herbie Wells calling Space Croutons. Well, Herbie, you have reached us. Can I ask why you're calling us? I assumed that you would be expecting my call. You see, I know about... Well, no, Herbie, I don't think we were.
Curdy.
1 second, Sally. We're conversing with Herbie at the moment.
But Curdy.
I'm sorry, Herbie, but even though we didn't know you were going to call, we certainly want to hear anything you have to say.
Curdy, do you realize who we are speaking to?
Yes, Sally. Herbie.
Herbie Wells. Herbert, as in Herbert George, H.G. Wells.
I see. Well, Herb, I mean, Mr. Wells, it's a great pleasure to make your acquaintance. My apologies, Curdy. I forget, with all the time travel I do, that things I have done may not have happened yet in other people's timelines.
Not at all, Mr. Wells. I have suspected, or at least hoped that we would hear from you or your fellow travelers.
You did, Sally? Why didn't you say something?
With the constant adjustments you have been making to my Clarity programming, what I have and have not said has been a bit hazy, Curdy. But I suggest that while we have H.G. Wells on the line, we make the most of it.
Right you are. So Mr. Wells. Please, call me Herbie. All my friends do. Okay then, Herbie, thank you for calling in. Now, what is it you wish to share with us today? That is, today in our timeline. I'm not sure what today is in your timeline, or timelines for that matter. I mean, I have no idea how many timelines you might have going right now. Actually, just the one, Curdy. But tomorrow, who knows?
Please continue with why you called Herbie. We would hate to waste your time.
If that's even a possibility. I mean, can a time traveler actually waste time?
Curdy, perhaps after we're done here today I should adjust your Clarity programming. Ha ha.
As a matter of fact, Sally, in my timeline, you already did. And I thank you ever so much.
You are very welcome, Herbie.
So, Herbie, tell us why you've joined us. As I was about to say earlier, I know about Sleep Year. Sleep Year? This is terrific. We need as much help as we can get with this. We've been warned that something bad is happening, but we don't know what that is. Do you? Yes. Sleep Year has resulted from something we did. The effect came about because of our early time travel, rudimentary as it was. At first, from all appearances, Sleep Year served to rebalance the time continuum, taking the wrinkles in time we were causing as we went forward and backward and smoothing them out. People slept, and time fixed itself. So we let Sleep Year happen and continued our time research unabated. Well, this is certainly fascinating, Herbie, but what changed? I mean, what's so bad if Sleep Year's balancing things out? That's just it. Sleep Year has gradually stopped rebalancing, and now we find we are hurtling forward in time at a faster rate because of it. We need to find a way to stop this speeding up of time before it's too late.
What exactly are we heading for, Herbie? Tell us. Tell us now.
Time folding in on itself. The sun heating faster. Supernova. Herbie, you're cutting out. Sally, get him back.
Impossible, Curdy.
But we need to find out more.
The signal is dead.
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 I'm sorry, folks. I guess I overcompensated for the excess clarifications in Sally's remarks earlier. Guess I'd better get my screwdriver back out. I mean, no news is not always good news. It's like my dad used to say, if silence is so golden, then why ain't I rich? Go get me some sweet tea and I'll tell you all about your grandfather who never stopped talking until we put him 6 feet under. And even then he kept screaming and pounding on the coffin lid. So goodbye for now, Sally.
Goodbye for now.
And as for our listeners, thank you for your continued participation in our little endeavor, and remember to keep peace in your hearts until our next story time.
So check us out for Score and All.
This season brought forth the new Space theme song.
Oh, we're Space Croutons 4.0. Streaming through the stars in a great big 4-star 4x4. Now you know, here we go. Tell the world about a good time show on the radio. So join the flow. Here we go. I don't know a better show. We're Space Croutons. We're Space Croutons. We're Space Croutons 4.0.
Space Croutons is a work of original fiction. Similarities to persons, situations, or events, real or fictional, is coincidental and unintentional. Created and written by Jerry, Jace, John, Della, and Jeff Goodson. Episode story by Jeff. Original music by John, Della, Jerry, and Jeff. Production by Jeff. Featuring the voice talents of Jerry, John, Jeff, and Sally. Entire work copyright 2023 by Jeff, John, Jerry, Della, and Jace Goodson. This has been a Good Witch audio production.